Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I had a plan. It was a good plan. It was on the calendar. The outfit was laid out. I was hydrated. But then, because the universe apparently wanted to test me, the plan fell apart. And what came rushing in? That oh so familiar combo of frustration, being fed up, and feeling completely off track. If you've ever felt like you're doing your best and life decides to give you a flat tire, this episode is for you. Today we're talking about the moments where we feel like we're doing everything right, maybe even with a little momentum. And then, boom, life reroutes us. It's not about just accepting the detour. It's about learning how to show up anyways, and how not to lose yourself in the spiral. Welcome to And That's Okay, the podcast where we explore the ups and downs of life and remind ourselves that whatever we're feeling, it's for a reason, and that's okay. I'm Lisa Renee Scott, your host and a passionate believer that every feeling matters and every step forward counts. Each week, we'll dive into real-life challenges, share relatable experiences, and offer actionable steps to help you navigate through it all. Before we jump in, I want to remind you that I'm not a licensed doctor or therapist. I'm here to share experiences and insights that have worked for me and others like me. Let me just start with this morning because this is fresh. I had a plan to go for a bike ride, 5 miles. I was in the zone, dressed, hydrated, prepped. My mind was already out on the trail, soaking in the air, moving through my thoughts. That was a plan. But the universe had other plans. My bike, flat tire. And not just a grab the pump and fix it kind of situation. Nope, hole in the tire. And because of the kind of bike I have, it's an all-in-one wheel combo, the tube, tire, and everything. Not something you just grab off the shelf. I had to order a whole new wheel setup. And in that moment, I felt it. That flash of irritation, that heavy sigh, that feeling of, seriously, I was going to do something good for myself. Why does this have to be so complicated? But here's what I didn't do. I didn't let the plan falling apart stop the movement. I just shifted. I ordered the tire, tossed on my walking shoes, and hit the pavement instead. Did my plans change? Yep. Did the universe win? Nope. Because I still moved. I still showed up, and I still did something that aligned with what I wanted, even if it didn't look like the original picture. Let me give you another version of this because not everyone listening had a bike tire mishap today. Let's say your plan was to sit down and finally get that one thing done, whatever that is. Maybe it's writing content for your side business, folding laundry while catching up on your show, or finally knocking out emails so you didn't walk in on Monday just buried. And just as you settle in, a child throws up. A client emails you with an urgent need, or maybe the power flickers and shuts off your Wi-Fi. What do we do when what was supposed to be productive turns into pure chaos? Most of us get frustrated first. That's human. But then there's this weird pressure to either power through anyway or abandon the whole thing altogether. But what if there's another option? What if in those moments, instead of giving up or fighting the interruption, we give ourselves just enough space to shift? Frustration shows up because something we were looking forward to or something we were managing carefully got ripped out from underneath us. It's not about laziness or weakness. It's about care. You cared about your plan. You had energy and intention behind it. That's why it stings a little when it falls apart. But here's something I've learned. The interruption doesn't have to equal failure. And feeling off track doesn't mean you're going nowhere. Sometimes being off track is just rerouting towards a slower but deeper kind of progress. Sometimes you walk instead of ride. Sometimes you cry and then you answer your email. Sometimes you fold the laundry tomorrow, and that's okay. Now, I'm not going to leave you in the land of frustration without a way forward. I want to share 3 action steps that aren't about fixing the whole day. They're about moving differently when things don't go as planned. These are small shifts. They create space for you to breathe, reflect, and still move forward, even if it's not how you pictured it. 1. Name it in real time. Say it out loud or write it down. Something like, "This is not how I planned this. I'm frustrated and I feel off track." Now, most of us skip this step because we think stating the obvious won't help. But here's the truth. Naming your emotion gives your brain a moment to pause instead of react. It brings awareness. It says, "I see what's happening," which shifts you from spiraling to noticing. And that alone can lower stress and help you breathe again. And that creates space to respond instead of just react. It also interrupts the self-judgment loop, which is what often sends us deeper into feeling stuck. Number 2, ask, what can I still do right now? Not what was the original plan, not how do I fix everything, but simply what's one thing I can still do in this moment that supports where I was headed. This shift moves you out of all or nothing thinking. When plans fall apart, we often scrap the whole day. But your momentum doesn't need to disappear because the method changed. You're reminding yourself that progress is still possible, even if it looks different. A sense of capability, control, a burst of confidence that says, I may not be doing perfectly, but I'm still showing up. And that tiny movement of reclaiming your power builds emotional resilience and keeps you from sitting in the frustration all day. 3, give yourself one permission slip. Say something like, I don't have to fix everything today, or it's okay if I shift directions and come back to this tomorrow. We live in a world that applauds hustle and punishes pause, but often what keeps us stuck isn't the frustration itself. It's the guilt layered on top. You lighten the pressure and give yourself space to regroup. And from that place, you're more likely to actually return to your plan with energy. These aren't magical fixes. They're steady, doable, pivots. They're how you take one step without needing the whole map again. And sometimes that's the win. Not fixing the flat tire, not rewriting the schedule, but simply showing up in the middle of the mess with just enough grace to keep going. Here's what I want you to try when you feel frustrated or thrown off this week. 1, name in real time. 2, ask yourself, what can I still do right now? Even if it's a micro step, a walk instead of a ride, right? 3, give yourself one permission slip that might be something like, I don't have to fix everything today, or I can try again tomorrow without guilt. Listen, plans fall apart. People get sick, tires go flat, the Wi-Fi glitches, the world interrupts. But that doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean your progress is vanished. And it definitely doesn't mean you've failed. If today felt off, that's okay. If you're frustrated, that's okay. If you're fed up and tired of trying, that is okay too. You're allowed to feel all of that and still shift. Still walk instead of ride. Still rest and try again tomorrow. still show up messy but moving. Frustrated, fed up, off track. You're still in it, and you still matter. You're still worthy of peace, progress, and a plan that unfolds in your timing. And that's okay. Thanks for tuning into this episode of And That's Okay. I hope you found our discussion insightful and that you're leaving with some practical steps to apply in your own life. Remember, no matter what you're feeling or going through, you have feelings and that's okay. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might benefit from today's topic. Until next week, take care and keep moving forward, one feeling, one step at a time.